In this video, we are going to go over how you can get some pollinated fruits. With the inclusion of this new summer update, guys, there are no longer bees that'll go into your farm and actually pollinate your fruits. Meaning that it is actually very, very difficult to get pollinated fruits to actually turn it into honey. And the reason why you would want honey right now, there is no busy bee shop anymore, but you can still use that honey to go and craft a whole assortment of different things. As you can see, there's a bunch of different seeds that you can craft here, and there's also a bunch of different items that you can craft while using honey. Now, there is a couple different ways to get honey and to get yourself pollinated fruits. The first is pretty obvious, and that's, well, if you already have pollinated fruits inside of your garden. You can see that we got a ton of pollinated fruits here, okay? We got some coconuts over here. We got, bean stalks. We got tons of pollinated fruits. Basically, like, all of the fruits on my garden were pollinated at one point, so I have a ton of leftover pollinated fruits. But if you have run out of pollinated fruits, don't worry, you are in luck. You could actually go over to the summer harvest, and you could look at the top. You could get plus 10 honey from the summer harvest. Remember that there are a few pets in the game that'll also pollinate your fruits. I'm talking about the bee, the honeybee, the wasp, and the tarantula hawk. There are a couple more pets inside of here that'll actually go inside and harvest your fruits. Then once you have your pollinated fruits, you want to head over to this guy, give him the plant, and it'll actually start as long as it is over 10 kilograms. But if you guys don't actually have any pets that'll turn your fruits pollinated, then there is yet another way how you guys could do it. And again, it's gonna be with the summer harvest event. You guys, there are two different things that you're gonna want to get as a reward inside of the summer harvest event. That's gonna be 10 honey, like how I already said, and the flower seed pack. The honey is a common reward, so it is actually very, very easy to get. However, the honey is a very common reward, so it is actually very, very easy to get. You only need about 50 harvest points to actually get this honey, and it's about a 50-50 chance that you actually get the honey when you have 50 harvest points. As for the flower seed pack, guys, this one is a little bit more complicated. You can see here that it only has a 20% chance of spawning, and you need at least 2,000 harvest points to actually get the flower seed pack. The reason why you'd want this flower seed pack, guys, alright, the final thing that you are going to want to craft is none other than the Mutation Spray pollinated. What you need from this is a cleaning spray, the bee balm, and of course, honey. And, well, to get yourself the cleaning spray, very, very easy. You head over here to the gear shop, you scroll down, and then you find yourself the cleaning spray right here. It is almost always inside of the shop, so you could actually, stockpile and buy a bunch of them. All right, and once you actually have that, the only other two things that you need is the bee balm and, of course, some honey. Again, the honey can be get from the summer event over and over and over again if you guys don't have any pollinated fruits, or I would first spend your honey on the crafter seed pack here. Once you actually get your flower seed pack from the summer event and your 10 honey, you can actually create yourself the crafter seed pack. The reason why you need the crafter seed pack, guys, is because you're wanting to create the bee balm here. What you actually need to create that is the crocus and the lavender, guys. Also, you can trade for any of these items. You could trade for the crocus, you could trade for the lavender items, guys, and actually, so you can skip a lot of steps from actually doing this. The good thing about it is that crops are actually not very rare, so they shouldn't be very expensive, and that means you have a lower probability of getting scammed, although it is still very possible. So once you get yourself the crocus from, of course, the crafter seed pack, guys, you can see that it's a 40% chance of actually getting it. Then all you need, of course, is the lavender and, well, 10 more honey, which you gotta get this honey again from the summer event, guys. As for the lavender plant, you might just have to trade for that one, guys. I haven't found a method of actually getting more lavenders from this. Once you actually do have lavender seeds, however, you can use the squirrel and try to get more, or when you're harvesting, you can use the snail to get extra harvests, guys. All right, the lucky harvest. And then once you have the bee balm, you can actually go over here, and once you get 25 more honey, you can actually actually create the pollinated spray, guys. Once you have the pollinated spray, then you want to utilize it on fruits that'll actually be, one, not that expensive, because you're not gonna want to give up all of your beanstalk or something like that, guys, but also are heavy enough so that you could actually only use one fruit when throwing in there. And if you guys remember, I put a coconut in there. Coconut is probably one of the best fruits to get pollinated. That's because they are overwhelmingly almost always over 10 kilograms, guys. Only a couple are not over 10 kilograms by default, guys, so you should have a very, very good time. So you spray this plant once and you can actually get a ton of pollinated coconuts, guys, that'll last you for a long, long time. And each of these, well, that equals 10 honey. So if we're just counting each leaf, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 leaves, guys. Or I'm counting these as leaves. I guess they're more of branches, okay? But 4 times 7 is 28. That means that is 280 honey sitting right there. And with that, guys, you can go and use it to, well, craft a bunch more stuff, or, well, you know, do what you want with it, guys. I think crafting is the only real use of honey anymore, so yeah, I would suggest probably crafting with it. Like, why else would you want to? Anyway, that is it for this video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all later. Peace out, and of course, goodbye.